for myself, I've been in the job since February, so we are a newly formed team. And myself, Jana, and David Gentles are the new Borough of Sport team. So I'll just pass over to Jana quickly.
Hello, lovely to meet you all. As Roxanne mentioned, my name is Jana and I've been in post just under 2 months now, also working as a sport and leisure manager on the Borough of Sport initiative. Something that I will share with you, which I don't tend to share with people, that I also am a parent to a child with SEN at a special needs school. So I understand some of the issues, obviously not all of the issues, but some of the issues that you have. So just to let you know that I'm a friendly face and you can always approach us. I think we can now move on to our activity finder, which Roxanne will inform you about.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jana. Thanks for sharing that. So as we said, we are new to the borough and we are a newly formed team. So we wanted to have the opportunity today to share with you some of the
Is everyone experiencing a frozen screen at the moment?
I am. Yeah.
Yes, I've got my connection.
Contact Roxanne.
Okay. Yeah, maybe Roxanne has lost her internet connection. She has now left, so I'm assuming she's left and she'll be rejoining.
Sadly, her internet has literally just dropped. So I'll pick the presentation up and hopefully she can join us back in a moment. So this is our activity finder, where you can search for activities across the borough. They're either free or low cost. And there is an ability to have a look to see what is SEN and what is inclusive. So hopefully, by using the activity finder, you can find something that suits you at a time and location. Any activities that we give funding towards or any activities that we're supporting, we do encourage the providers to put them on this site and find that it's a really useful site. If you experience any problems with it, though, do get in touch. At the end of our presentation, our email addresses are there for everybody, so you can contact us directly. Okay, next slide, please.
Jana, can you see me? Am I back?
I can see and hear you, and you've come just in at the right moment to discuss Park Play. Thanks,
Internet
Roxanne.
has failed me. Thanks for covering there, Jana. Park Play, this is intergenerational. So we have 2 sites currently running, one at Cannon's House and one at Eastfields. And as hopefully the picture will show, that this is inclusive to everybody. It is a family activity. It's for 2 hours every Saturday morning. And it literally is what it says. It's about play. It's about playing with children, different games, coming along and having lots of fun. So we are hoping to start up another 4 across the borough. These are still in planning stage, but just to make people aware, we have 2 sessions running already, and these are free to attend. All you have to do is just register the once before you turn up, or even on the day, and after that you can just turn up. So it'd be great if anybody wants to get involved. And as Diana said, if there's any questions, obviously we have our email at the end. Next slide, please. I'll pass over to Jana around our parks.
Yeah, back to me. This is an instructor-led session. It's either in a boot camp format or a box fit session. It is inclusive. So it's not just for people with SEN, but they're very welcome. And any challenges with the session, you're more than welcome to highlight them back to us, and we can address that with the instructors. It is free and available at all of those locations across Merton at those times. Similar to Park Play, you do need to register using that QR code there up on the leaflet, or you can register through the activity finder as well. It takes place in all weathers. So in the summer, you need your suntan lotion, and in the winter, you need your woolly hat and gloves. It is mainly catering for over 16s, so it is an adult session. But if you did want to bring children along, you can do, providing there is a responsible adult for them. And we can circulate the leaflet for this at the end of the session as well. So it will have all of the times and dates on it and registration. Next slide, please, Tracy. You're probably aware that in Merton, children under the age of 16 and those over the age of 65 can swim for free across the 3 leisure centres in Merton, Morden Park, Cannons and Wimbledon. I would advise, if you're using this offer, that you book in advance, particularly if you're using it during school holidays. What I would like to highlight, and GLL would have mentioned this as well, there is a free family splash session for anybody with a member of the family that has a disability. Those sessions are run at Cannons and at Morden, and they're run at a lower capacity level, so there won't be as many people in the pool, and they're run so that there's less sensory input, so it's not as noisy. And those sessions, usually the staff there have been trained around disability awareness. So feel free to look at the activity finder or straight onto the GLL website to find out when those sessions are being held. Next slide, please, Tracy. So there are 2 parts to this project, which is a 2-year project and kicks off in September this year. The first part is run with our SEN schools. It's an adapted 10S and multi-skill session. But the second part is based again around anybody with a family member that has a disability can participate in a multi-skills session at the weekend at Community Club. Oh, is everything okay? I'm getting a bit of background noise there. So again, this is something we will advertise out in September when it starts, and it should be either on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, and anybody with a family member with SEN can attend. And the lovely part about working with Disability Sports Coach is that they create pathways for attendees to become volunteers. And then maybe if that volunteer wants to become a qualified coach, they can look to support that person into a qualification and hopefully employment, because all of the sessions, or the majority of sessions, are led by people with an SEN themselves. Okay, next slide, please. Big Sports Day, 8th of September, a date for your diary at Wimbledon Park. It'll be very similar to the big sports day that was held last summer. So lots of free activities, and we are currently in the planning stage, which leads me really nicely onto our next section. So at this point, I might suggest that we pause the recording.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I'm from Fulham Football Club Foundation. So my role is I'm the Disability Development Manager. So I focus on all of the activities that we have for children, young people and adults with any form of disability or special educational need. But another part of my remit is to ensure that the wider foundation activities are all inclusive for everyone to be able to attend, whether it's a disability specific environment or whether it's one of our kind of mainstream sessions as well. So just going to give you a little bit of a rundown on the foundation. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So the foundation is a registered charity. So we're the charity side of the football club itself. We started back in 2002. And as you can see there from our mission and our vision is to provide a healthy, inclusive, thriving community, and obviously to help to build better lives through sport. So essentially that means trying to give young people, adults, the opportunity to have a go at activity, whether it's the first time, whether they're a seasoned pro, or, just someone that wants to come and give something a go, and hopefully to kind of build, what it says there, a better life through activity. If we can go to the next slide, please. So I won't go over this too much, but this is just kind of showing you what our kind of key performance indicators are, what we aim to do as a foundation. So we've got our sort of specific pillars there that we aim to kind of focus our work on. And as you can see there, obviously we aim to have participants identifying as a disability as 12.5% of our target for last year, and for this year it went up to 15%. So we're really trying to push that, and I'm striving to kind of make that as many as possible. So I think at the moment we're at about 18%, so we're actually smashing that target this year. But just ensuring that obviously we have those options for everyone to be able to attend. If we can go to the next slide, please. So across our foundation, we have over 20 different programs. They kind of have 8 different themes. So obviously we have our disability programs, we have football and sport, which is the very participation level activities. So people coming to try football for the first time. We have a health and well-being program, which focuses on mental well-being and physical well-being. And obviously things along kind of, we run a dementia program. Then we have our player pathway, which is obviously giving those children the chance to go down a sort of more elite route if that's where they want to attend. Obviously we focus on primary and secondary education and careers. So one of our aims is to try and help our participants get into work if that is something that they want to do, whether that's becoming a football coach or working in other different jobs around the foundation. So one of the things I'm really proud of is that we currently have one of our assistant grounds people at the training ground is a young man with Down syndrome. And he came to us through playing in our Down syndrome football program, realizing that actually horticulture and gardening was something that he absolutely loved. So we brought him in on work experience, on a work placement, and now he has a permanent paid job working with our grounds team. So really trying to help everyone to be able to access work, even if it's not coaching football. If we can go to the next slide, please. So yeah, just obviously with regards to our disability activities, we include children starting from the age of 5 to adults of any age. We have no upper age range. We don't tell anyone that they can't attend. If they want to be accessing our activities, then any age is fine. We had a gentleman that was attending one of our sessions that was in his 60s. He then moved on to our walking football program in our health and wellbeing program because he felt that going into walking football was the next step for him. So, we'll always help them to find an environment that suits them. And obviously trying to create those opportunities for kind of underrepresented groups to be able to access. So we have a great access of the facilities at the Fulham training ground. On a Saturday morning, it is disability morning, and we pretty much have about 70 children and adults with disability there on a Saturday morning playing football of some sort. So being able to create those opportunities is something that we're really, really keen to do. If we can go to the next slide, please. So one of the things that we really try and focus on is the impact of our activities, and it's not just about coming and kicking a ball. It's actually about what that can do for the participants as well. And obviously aiming to improve their physical health, but also improving their mental well-being and helping them to feel engaged with other people, with building friends and social connections, and obviously being inspired. So the next slide just shows you some of our feedback that we've had recently from our summer survey, which, as you can see, is pretty amazing on those scores in terms of kind of the amount of people that have said, obviously, that their participants have improved physical well-being, mental well-being. Obviously, I'm really, really proud of the fact that 100% of our participants said they felt welcomed. And also to see 90% of participants have actually made new friends through our activities is something that we're really proud of as well, because that is kind of, the whole thing is where we talk about it as our Fulham family. So once you join like a Fulham session, whether that's a disability session, whether that's a mainstream session, you become part of the Fulham family, and kind of, hopefully make new friends from that. If you can go to the next slide. So these are just a couple of little bits of feedback from our survey. So just asking people what was the highlight of their term. And I thought there were some really nice different things. So we've got from the very basic to the fact that her lady's son started to dribble the ball. So I'm sure some of you know that, for some people, that is a massive achievement, being able to kick and follow a ball. For others, obviously, that may be a normal day-to-day thing. So obviously, within our environment, we have very different ability levels as well. You may notice as well throughout this, the A in disability is capitalized. Now that is because we actually focus on the ability of each person rather than the disability. So that's something that we really try and focus on. And you can see there from the comments about kind of being motivated to get out of the house, do something good for their mental health. Obviously, the opportunity recently came up for the players to play at Craven Cottage. So that got a couple of mentions, actually playing on the pitch at Craven Cottage. And then just with regards to the one in the bottom left corner, we've got a young lad who recently had to have an operation as part of his condition. And the coaches went out and got like a card and got all of the kids to sign it, so that they could obviously send that over to him, so that he felt that, you know, even though he's not a training every week, he's still part of us, and, you know, he's really still included. So I thought that was really nice to show that. If you wanted to go to the next slide for me. So here's a little bit of kind of the activities on offer. So in terms of the different types of activities we offer in the disability environment. So obviously we have pan disability football, which is for any players with any form of physical, learning or sensory disabilities. We have a couple of adult sessions. One runs at Motspur Park at the Fulham training ground, and one runs in Wandsworth at Emmanuel School. So those are for 16 plus, and they are for anyone that wants to come and play football. What we kind of tend to do is we categorize them in terms of ability levels in the football levels. So we have league, championship and premiership. So league would be those with limited mobility and awareness. And then as you go up the levels, you get more physically aware and physically able. Obviously, we've got different sort of disability specific programs. So we have our blind and partially sighted football, our Down syndrome football, and we run a tennis program as well. So the football gets to run at the training ground, and the tennis is actually run at the National Tennis Centre. So often have the likes of Liam Brodie playing on the next tennis courts, which is quite amazing. We offer frame football for those specifically with physical impairments. Our active autism program is actually for children up to the age of 16, and a lot of those then transition into our adult pan disability football. And we also have female specific pan disability football. So this is something that came from a bit of feedback that some of the ladies didn't want to join the mixed sessions because they wanted that environment where they could feel a little bit able to you know, not have to be able to like play as amazing as everyone else, being able to feel that little bit more kind of relaxed environment, and just take away that little bit of the stress. So we started up a female pan disability football, and they play for an hour and a half, and I'd say probably half an hour of that is chat club as well. So just getting the ladies to have a bit of a chat and talk about things that might be affecting them at the time. Or just things that they're enjoying, and just having that sort of really relaxed environment for females. So that kind of touches on the activities that we have on offer in our disability, but we also have activities, like I say, that we run for inclusive activities. So we have a program called More Than a Game, which runs in Merton, which is for 18 plus, that focuses on the mental well-being of a participant and helping them to have an environment where they feel happy, safe, and able to sort of play some football, but also work on sort of improving their mental well-being as well. We also offer a Made in Fulham program, which is for people that want to get into coaching. We've had a number of our disability participants have gone through this pathway. So as part of it, they learn to be a football coach. They go through a training program where they access courses, and then at the end of it, we provide them with the funds to go and get their level 1 in coaching, with the aim that hopefully one day they will become a coach for Fulham. Just to say, like, I think out of my coaches that work on the disability program, about 50% of them have their own needs. Our head coach of our active autism program has autism himself. And it's really great, I think, for the players to be able to look up to role models that, you know, I could be like Coach Paul when I'm older, sort of thing. Yeah, so next slide, please. So essentially, it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but obviously my details are there as well on the screen. So if you do have any questions about any of our activities, please feel free to get in touch, and obviously I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Hi everybody. So I'm Fee and I represent Flyers Hockey, and it's adapted hockey. So I think similar to Katie, I mean, we just aspire to be Fulham Foundation one day. So we've been going 4 years. We are all volunteers, and we are just across the border in Wandsworth. But don't let that put you off. I have participants that travel to us from Merton, Croydon, Sutton, Dulwich. They come across from, not many people come across the river. Can't blame them trying to get across the bridges, but also all the way over from Blackheath and that area. So everybody is welcome. Like I said, we operate in Wandsworth, and I'll give you the details of where and times, etc. But the key is really back to that basic principles. We want people to come together and have an opportunity to get active, have fun, learn skills. And we just do it through the medium of hockey. So if I can have the next slide, please. Oh, and an apologies, Tracy's already mentioned to me that you might think a lot of the photos show relatively more younger people than older people, but we do have participants who go up to the ages of 40. We will take participants up to any age. It's just, again, getting consent of who's willing to share their photos. We have it more in the younger ages. So what are we? So we are an adapted hockey session for any person with any disability. And we adapt our sessions so that, again, we have people that might need walking support, individual one-to-one, through to medium, small skill set capabilities, to actually we can get them into a game scenario. So typically we will split a session into about 3 or 4 capability bands to meet the needs and the desires of the individual and what they can get involved and engaged with. We're part of England Hockey. There's 35 clubs across the UK, and something, Tracy, I will send you to share with the group. There's also another Flyers group called Falcon Flyers, and they operate out of Epsom and Leatherhead, so the other side of Merton. So if anybody doesn't fancy driving into London but prefers to drive outwards, they're also an opportunity. And they also provide sessions on a Sunday, I think, rather than we're midweek.
Thank you, Dee.
Can I have the next slide, please? So just some pictures of our participants. All these pictures look great. They're all in the summer. We are actually a winter sport. We run from September all the way through to July, and I am so proud of all our participants. They turn out in all weather. We have played hockey in the snow. Rain does not put them off. It's one thing I love about this audience. It's Monday night or it's Thursday night, and we do hockey. Versus, when coaching in mainstream with kids, they're like, oh, do I really have to? My Flyers audience are like, yeah, it's hockey night and we're going, and it's brilliant. So you can see some fun. And Katie, you may recognize Louis in one of those pictures, who also enjoys his football.
I've spotted a couple of faces I know already.
Yeah. So if I can have the next slide, please. So the key for us is to make sure that sport is accessible to everybody. So we offer club sessions, and I'll give you the details in those in a moment. But one of the challenges we find is belief. Belief that the people that you care for can do this sport, can get involved, can get engaged, can be active. And active is a relative word. It is relative to them. So all we're looking at is, what do you do today and what can you do further? So earlier you saw a picture of the lovely Ava, who's wheelchair based. Again, she turns up in all weathers, in the rain, etc. We're the only sport she currently does. And she commutes from the other side of Dulwich to us. And just being outside in the fresh air, being active. And then what we've seen over time is her build up her skills in the capability in the way she can manipulate her wheelchair around obstacles, moving a hockey ball and getting and scoring goals, etc. She loves to score goals. But also, she's got a bit cheeky. She's worked out that she can actually trap a hockey ball underneath her chair so nobody can tackle her. And you just watch this progression and watch the development. And it's an amazing moment to be able to be a small part of that development and that part of their character to flourish. However, what we've found is we also need to give people the experience to say, you can actually do this. And so to do that, we've launched our partnerships program. It's been going 3 years. These are the schools we work with. And then these are also some of the community providers we work with. And you'll notice these community providers focus much more on the older age groups. So with Generate, we work with the 25 to 35-year-olds. Roots and Shoots are 19 to 25-year-olds. Share, again, they are anywhere, we work with their 19 to sort of 40 age group. And we're a big partner with Enable, which provide lots of interesting activities and open it up to anybody that wants to give something a go. Again, not borough dependent. Can I have the next slide, please? So again, just lots more slides. The lady in the blue jacket is an England hockey player that comes down to the session and has supported us. But really, you know, and some parents take part. We allow other family members. So if there's siblings who want to take part, we've got a lovely girl at the moment who is 23 and her 16-year-old brother also joins the sessions. He doesn't have any needs, but it's something that they can do together. And it's a safe space that is adapted and enabling for her, but he's just enjoying also being physically active and getting involved. Can I have the next slide, please? So here's our club sessions. They are, so we run 2 sessions on a Monday night, 6 till 7 and 7 till 8. Our oldest, we try, because one of the feedbacks that we got from people who are older is, I don't want to play with children. So we, like I said, we put on these extra sessions, 7 till 8. But we also have participants who are in their mid-20s that come to our 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock session, because that's what works for them and their carer situation. So whether that's they have a carer that brings them, a parent that brings them, whether they're too tired later, we will adapt and welcome people. But there is also that special space that says, actually, I want an adult space. I am an adult and I want my own session. I'm no longer a child. So we have these 7 till 8 sessions as well. Both Mondays and Thursdays, one at St. Francis Xavier and one at Manuel's School. Like I said, our sessions run from September to July, and we follow roughly the school terms. The sessions are free for those who are not in a position to contribute. It's a very easygoing basis. We all work on a voluntary basis, and any money is ring-fenced to support paying for our pitches. All the kit is provided free, so the hockey sticks, etc. are all given to everybody. Can I have the next slide, please? Here's some more participants. Everybody bar Alex in the bottom corner has neurodiversity and a different level of physical fitness and ability to coordinate what they want to do in action, reaction, etc. And again, through the focus of how do we move a hockey ball, how do I pass, how do I make a how do I enjoy getting into a little scenario and working with somebody else in a team. It's all such an amazing experience. Next slide, please. And there you go. Whistle stop tour of Flyers Hockey. We are keen to get more people to join us. Has anybody got any questions?